Hello students, now welcome back to the third class for the class of moments, and the chapter name is Ishwaran the storyteller. So in the other two classes we have read how Ishwaran is an asset for Mahendra the junior supervisor who has been appointed as the job of a supervisor. His work is to supervise different constructing sites, and in the course of his work he has to move to different places, sometime in this city, sometime in that area. Okay, all different kinds of odd places he had to go here and there, and Mahendra was an asset to him because Mahendra would go anywhere, he would go without any kind of complaint. Now, about Ishwaran, Mahendra says that Ishwaran was a very talented person. Not only he was an amazing cook, but he had some amazing quality, like surprising qualities, like bringing up arranging vegetables out of nowhere and making those beautiful dishes with the fresh vegetables. But the most incredible talent that Ishwaran had was his captivating storytelling capacity. The way he would tell a very simple story to Mahendra, he was a big package of entertainment. So he already said two stories. Okay, two stories means one was an example where Ishwaran's storytelling habit was explained, that how he would describe a simple thing like a uprooted tree beside the road, how he would narrate that. So that has been elaborated. And next, Ishwaran one day said a story about an elephant which went wild and it was causing destruction, and Ishwaran at that time, who was a child, and he saved everyone. He controlled that elephant with some kind of Japanese arts, like whacking the third toenail of the elephant and making him paralyzed completely. So these were the two stories we have read so far. Now today we will proceed with the chapter. Not a day passed without Ishwaran recounting some story packed with adventure, horror and suspense. Whether the story was credible or not, Mahendra enjoyed listening to it because of the inimitable way in which it was told. Ishwaran seemed to more than make up for the absence of a TV in Mahendra's living quarters. So, there wasn't even a single day that passed without Ishwaran telling Mahendra a story which can be a horror story, a story which can be full of suspense, okay, any kind of story. But he would definitely tell one story to Mahendra, and Mahendra would be listening to the story completely captivated, fascinated. He would not judge whether the story is credible or not. Credible means believable or not. That doesn't matter. But the way he would tell the story, he was a complete package of entertainment. So the entertaining capacity of Ishwaran, okay, that was important. So Mahendra never had a TV. Wherever he lived, he never had a TV because he never needed a TV. Why would a person need a TV when he's having a living, walking, talking entertainment person in front of him? So that was Ishwaran. He was full of entertainment that he felt never a need for a TV. One morning when Mahendra was having breakfast, Ishwaran asked, "Can I make something special for dinner tonight, sir? After all, today is an auspicious day. According to tradition, we prepare various delicacies to feed the spirits of our ancestors today, sir." So one day, while Mahendra was getting ready for work, he has just completed his breakfast. Suddenly, Ishwaran came and told him and asked him that what can we make for dinner tonight? Can you suggest any menu? Do you want to have some special kind of food today? Because today is a kind of auspicious day. Auspicious day means a kind of religious way, kind of lucky day. Okay, a kind of religious way, some kind of special day it is. According to our tradition, we prepare various delicacies to feed the spirits. So today is a day which is just like a Bhut Chaturdashi, what we call in Bengali, okay, in our culture. So in the same way, he is telling that it is a day which is particularly for those spirit. Okay, the night is for the spirit. We will invite the spirit will be roaming here and there, and we have to prepare some food so that the spirit can come and taste the food. So it is a spirit day, spirit night actually. And the spirits are whose spirit? The spirits of the ancestors. So different ancestors would be roaming around in the earth on that night. That night, Mahendra enjoyed the most delicious dinner and complimented Ishwaran on his culinary skills. He seemed very pleased, but unexpectedly launched into a most garish count involving the supernatural. So Mahendra, as usual, he would always love and enjoy eating the food prepared by Ishwaran. And that night also, Ishwaran prepared some special food. So Mahendra obviously enjoyed the dinner. It was a very tasty dinner. He complimented Ishwaran for his culinary skills. His cooking skills were so nice. He used to cook so well that he got lots of appraisal from Mahendra, from his master. And he was very pleased, he was very happy, unexpectedly launched into a most garish account involving the supernatural. But suddenly his happy mood vanished because Ishwaran started telling a story which was little bit scary, which was creepy, kind of related to supernatural, related to ghost and all. So sir, this entire factory area we are occupying was once a burial ground. He started. So, how he started? He just broke the mood of Mahendra's peaceful. After Mahendra had a very nice and tasty dish, Mahendra was relaxing. Mahendra was very happy. He was at a peace level. He felt like heaven. Suddenly, everything he just snapped out of it when Ishwaran suddenly mentioned that, sir, the place we are living right now, it is a burial ground. It was a graveyard. Okay, in the graveyard, there is this home was built. So everywhere it is surrounded by graves. He started. Mahendra was jerked out the pleasant reverie he had drifted into after the satisfying meal. So Mahendra was in a reverie state. He was in a very good mood. Suddenly he was as if thrown out from that mood. What? It's a graveyard? We are living in a graveyard? What are you telling? Something like that. A mood like that. I knew on the first day itself when I saw a human skull lying on the path. Even now, I came across a number of skulls and bones, Ishwaran continues. Ishwaran said that, yeah, I actually knew this. I actually doubted and I kind of guessed it in the very first day. On the very first day I arrived here, I guessed that this place is somewhat not right. This place is somewhat creepy. It's like a graveyard. He had a doubt on the very first day itself because he is telling, now he's mentioning that I actually discovered one human skull lying on the path. On the first day he discovered a human skull somewhere near the house. Even now I come across a number of skulls and bones, and very often, like whenever he used to go out to bring things for home, he would see human skulls and bones, as if means he would frequently see those kind of things. So it has become very obvious for him that it was a graveyard. He continued. He went on to narrate how he sometimes saw ghosts at night. I'm not easily frightened by these things, sir. I am a brave fellow. But one horrible ghost of a woman which appears off and on at midnight during the full moon. It's an ugly creature with matted hair and a shriveled face like a skeleton holding a fetus in its arms. So, Ishwaran is suddenly bringing the ghost topic inside the story. He's telling that actually, as I'm telling the story, don't think that I'm scared about ghost. I'm not at all scared of ghost. I am very casual whenever I see ghost, but there is one particular ghost which is kind of creepy, which is kind of very scary and uncomfortable to see. Okay, so that is kind of a ghost of a woman, like a figure of a woman, and it's a it's kind of scary looking creature, scary looking ghost, which Ishwari is telling that I don't like. Actually, I'm not scared, but I don't like that to look at that kind of ghost because it's very creepy. It's a woman ghost. It will appear in the midnight, sometimes in the full moon night. When there is a full moon, at that night, he would often see this lady ghost, and her hairs are like matted, and her shriveled face hairs are matted. Like matted means the hairs are so much like attached with the body as if there is no hair. It's very thin, like kind of covering. So her hairs are just like kind of pasted with the with her figure, and it looked very creepy. You can imagine, you have seen many horror movies, you can imagine such a figure of a ghost. And not only that, the scary figure had a fetus, a kind of baby or something like a bundle or something holding in her arms. She would be carrying along with her. Mahendra shivered at the description and interrupted rather sharply. "You are crazy, Ishwaran. There are no such things as ghosts or spirits. It is all a figment of your imagination. Get your digestive system examined, and maybe your head as well. You are talking nonsense." So, for the first time, Ishwaran is getting angry on. For the first time, Mahendra is getting angry on Ishwaran. Mahendra is telling that, "What? You are crazy? What kind of story you are telling me? I can't believe this kind of story." Actually, Mahendra is terrified. Mahendra is feeling scared, and as Mahendra is feeling scared, he is panicking, and he is trying to prove that whatever Ishwaran is telling, Ishwaran is actually telling a complete lie. It's like he is crazy, he is mad. Okay, he is not able to sleep at night. He is having some digestive disorder, so better he do treatment of better he does the treatment of his digestive system, and also with also of his head, because he is completely mad. How can he talk? How can you talk about ghost here? Like it's a normal place here. Everyone is living. You're telling that ghosts are here, and you think I will believe that, and I will get scared. So he is actually accusing, in a kind of angry way, he is accusing Ishwaran that you are telling a lie. You are mad, because actually Mahendra was terrified. "You are talking nonsense." So in this way, he just shouted at him. He left the room and returned for the night, expecting Ishwaran to sulk for a couple of days. But the next morning, he was surprised to find the cook as cheerful and talkative as ever. So he just left. He left for bed. He went to bed without talking, and he expected that for a few days, Ishwaran would not talk with him. Ishwaran would also kind of sulk. Sulk means showing anger. Okay, means whenever any person or any elder will scold you, you will feel hurt. You will feel angry towards that person, and you will stop talking to that person for a while. So that kind of mood is called sulking. Okay. So here Mahendra expected that I have scolded Ishwaran, so Ishwaran would keep quiet for a couple of days. For 2-3 days, he will be quiet, and he would not bring up this kind of stupid horror stories to me and terrify me unnecessarily. He expected that. But to his surprise, the next day morning, Ishwaran was not at all angry. Ishwaran was in a very cheerful mood, in his usual cheerful mood. He was joyfully came, and he is cheerful, talkative as ever. There has been no change, as if last night he didn't get any scolding at all. From that day on, Mahendra, for all his brave talk, went to bed with a certain unease. And Mahendra, who was talking so brave, he was talking so boldly that, "Oh, you are crazy," and all, that Mahendra used to go to the bed with a scare, with an unease. Unease means uncomfortable way. He would look here and there, okay, like really, because his mind will be thinking, are we really living on a graveyard where bones are there, and where Ishwaran is able to see kind of ghosts at night? Really, I never saw that, but if I ever come to see, so this kind of thoughts will be there when he would be going to bed, and he would go to bed with an uncomfort, with an unease. Every night he peered into the darkness outside through the window next to his bed, trying to make sure that there was no movement of dark shapes in the wind city. But he could only see a sea of darkness with the twinkling lights of the factory miles away. So, out of curiosity, he would just open the window, and he will look through the window. So he would look outside on the fields, on the grounds. Okay, whether he is able to see any kind of figure moving here and there in the darkness, as Ishwaran used to tell, whether he is able to see any ghost, as if. But he would only see complete dark environment around everywhere. It is complete totally darkness, filled with darkness, and in the very distant the factory lights will be twinkling. The lights from the factory will be visible. That's all, a very normal thing. He had always liked to admire the milk white landscape on full moon nights, but after hearing Ishwaran's story of the female ghost, he avoided looking out of his window altogether when the moon was full. So, normally, Mahendra always liked to see the outside whenever it is a full moon night. Full moon night means there will be a bright big moon in the sky, and the moonlight will be spreading all over with a silvery hue, a whitish kind of white color light everywhere. Okay, so those kind of lights will make the fields look more pretty, more beautiful, more mesmerizing. And and Mahendra used to enjoy that sight. But after hearing the story of that female ghost who comes out in the night of at the night of a full moon night, so Mahendra was terrified to look through the window on the full moon night to enjoy the beauty anymore. He was not able to enjoy the beauty anymore because he was terrified that if I look outside in the full moon night, I might see that female ghost, that scary female ghost figure. One night, Mahendra was woken up from his sleep by a low moan close to his window. At first, he put it down to a cat prowling around for mice. But the sound was so guttural for a cat, he resisted the curiosity to look out lest he should behold the sight which would stop his heart. But the wailing became louder and less feline. So one night, Mahendra was sleeping. Suddenly, he heard a sound and he woke up. He woke up and the sound was something like a cat who is like making a kind of crying sound. Okay, the sound was like a cry of a cat. Okay, so he thought that maybe like it's a cat, it's hunting for a mice and is making the sound. But the sound was too guttural. Okay, sound was too strong, too harsh. Okay, for a cat. He was having doubt that a cat won't make this kind of too much screeching, harsh sound. He resisted the curiosity to look out lest he should behold the sight which would stop his heart. So he wanted to see through the window what is outside, who is making that noise. But he controlled himself. No, no, I will not see. If I open the window and if I see something which is totally horrible and terrible, then he would have an heart attack. So he thought better I don't look. He tried to control himself. But the sound became more stronger. The wailing sound became louder and less feline. It was sounding like a cat sound. So feline means something which is related to a cat-like thing. That is called feline. So slowly, as the sound grew louder, it was not sounding like a cat anymore. He could not resist the temptation anymore. Lowering himself to the level of the window sill, he looked out at the wide sheet of moonlight outside. There, not too far away, was a dark, cloudy form clutching a bundle. Mahendra broke into a cold sweat and fell back on the pillow, panting. As he gradually recovered from the ghastly experience, he began to reason with himself and finally concluded that it must have been some sort of auto-suggestion, some trick that his subconscious had played on him. So he tried to control himself for a long time, but as the sound grew louder, he was not able to control himself. Finally, he had to look what is there outside the window. So he just looked outside the window, and what he saw a figure like a cloudy or kind of dark, shadowy figure moving here and there, and that figure is holding a kind of bundle in his hand. Okay, so he immediately connected that figure to that ghost lady with the fetus in her hand. So when he realized that he is actually watching a ghost, suddenly he felt a cold kind of as if a cold, icy kind of coldness running through his spine. Okay, like kind of vibration, a kind of shiver, a kind of shivering. He suddenly felt terrified. He was panicked. He has seen a ghost. Okay, a scared like filled his entire spine, and he fell over his bed on the pillow and he was panting heavily. Panting means breathing heavily. He has seen something. His heartbeat was high. He was terrified. and somehow he was trying to console himself what he saw, what he has just seen. It is a ghost, but he was trying to calm himself down by suggesting that no, it's not a ghost. You haven't seen a ghost. You have seen something else. It was just imagination. It was not real. He was trying to convince himself because he was terrified. So he was convincing himself that it must be his imagination. He was too terrified. He was too scared, and therefore he was keep imagining that he would be watching a ghost. He will be seeing a ghost. So therefore, he his mind only made an imagination, and whatever he saw, it was totally his hallucination. It was not real. So he came to this conclusion and he convinced himself. By the time he had got up in the morning, had a bath, and come out to have his breakfast, the horror of the previous night had faded from his memory. Ishwaran greeted him at the door with his lunch packet and his bag. Just as Mahendra was stepping out, Ishwaran grinned and said, now, the next day morning, Mahendra was completely normal. He has totally forgotten whatever happened last night. He totally forgotten that fear, that ghost, the sound, everything he completely forgotten. Okay. And then he just he just did the breakfast. He was getting ready for going to work, and he just about to take his lunch and move away. At that moment, Ishwaran suddenly came and greeted him. Sir, remember the other day when I was telling you about the female ghost with the fetus in its arm? So that other day, sir, do you remember that one night where I was telling story to you and I mentioned about the female ghost who used to carry a kind of baby, the kind of fetus type of baby in her hand? Do you remember? You were so angry with me for imagining things, and I told you this, and you got so angry on me. You shouted at me so much at that night, that time. Well, you saw her yourself last night, but you had seen her yesterday night. Means last night you have seen her. So I was not telling a lie. I was not mad. You also saw that. So you need to believe now. You need to believe me that whatever I said, it was true. So you shouted at me that night unnecessarily, isn't it, sir? He is confirmed. He is telling me. I came running, hearing the sound of a moaning that was coming from your room. Actually, last night, what happened last night? I was able to hear the sound of a moaning. It was coming from your door only, from your room's window. So I heard the sound, and I came running to see, to check on you whether you are okay or not. And when I entered the room, I saw a chill went down Mahendra's spine. He did not wait for Ishwaran to complete his sentence. He hurried away to his office and handed his papers, resolving to leave the haunted place the very next day. So Mahendra didn't wait to hear anything else, whatever Ishwaran had to tell. Okay, he just simply ran to the workplace, and in that office, he just submitted his resignation. He said that I want transfer. I'm not going to stay in this haunted place any single day. The next day only, he just ran away from that place. He didn't have the courage to stay any longer. So here in the end, Ishwaran did not complete it. Ishwaran was not allowed to complete his sentence. But what we are getting, Ishwaran is trying to say that last night he is actually telling that last night when I came to your room, hearing that after hearing the wailing sound, I found that you were looking through the window and you have seen the ghost. So therefore, you believe now that whatever I said, it is true. It is not like I'm not crazy or I'm not making up stories. So there is really a ghost here. So that thing, that realization made Mahendra so terrified. He was so scared now. Literally, he was so scared in the morning that he went to his workplace and applied for a transfer or as a resignation. He would just not stay in that place any single day thereafter. So that is the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I have planned to make another class video for you, and there I will just thoroughly discuss the exercise questions given here as well as some of the inside questions. So when I upload that class in the BMS website, I want you to take your copies. Okay, be ready with your copies, and whatever I'm telling, whatever question is I will be telling, you just note it down. And whatever answer I will be telling, you just note it down along with that. Okay, that's all. So that is the end of the class. Bye. Stay home.